just keep it like that for a few seconds and then we'll see how it's looking. Okay, senior, I was a senior, you were a sophomore.
Right.
The day, I remember exactly the day we met. Both of us were sitting in the back of the class. You were sitting to the left of me because we were sitting in rows. And my desk was in the back, your desk was in the back, you were sitting to the left of me. Jenkins was doing his introduction, like, and passing out textbooks and stuff like that. You know, this is all the shit that you're going to learn in this class and then later forget in your adult life. Unless you try to get onto Who Wants to Be Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or some shit like that. But I remember that I was reading a book. I had a book in my hand, and I had a stopwatch. And I know that you're going to remember this after a while because I was looking at a thing about the book was going on I don't know if it was a world record or if it was, no, it wasn't a world record. It was start your stopwatch, because the book came with a stopwatch, and it was start your stopwatch and think to yourself internally on your biological clock and stop your stopwatch and scream out as soon as you hit your stopwatch. No, I gave you the stopwatch, told you to start it. I said, at a minute, I'm going to yell out, and then you hit the watch and stop. And then let's see how close to a minute that I got, because that should tell you your biological clock, how attuned it is to atomical time. You were doing exactly what you're doing now, fucking laughing your ass off, and you kept burying your head, and then you kept looking up like, "You're not really gonna do this." Or, you know, I was like, "Hit the watch, start the watch," and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to." You're like, you start giggling like an idiot, and then you go, like, "All right," and then I hear, "Beep." So I start thinking, okay, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And Jenkins is talking, and I'm thinking, I wish he'd shut the fuck up. He's screwing up my biological clock.
Oh my God.
And so now I'm thinking, and I'm staying quiet throughout the whole time, and you were just laughing your ass off. People were looking back at you every once in a while, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? A couple of people were like, this guy?
I remember that class.
And then Jenkins, finally you were making such an interruption from laughing because you were trying not to make a disturbance, but at the same time you're like, then finally, you want to talk about the right moment. Jenkins finally looks at you, he's standing at the front of the class, he's looking at you, he's like, is there a problem, sir? And I go, time! Jenkins looks at me real quick and he's like, what the hell?
I remember that. That's the first time I remember I was like, this crazy fucking guy. I was like, this is a perfect friendship right here. I was like, this guy's cool, man. I was like, I gotta hang out with him. I remember that same class, there was this girl with blonde hair who always had it slicked back, and she always wore these flower print dresses, and she was so hot. She was in a couple grades older than I was, and I think she went out with she had jungle fever. But I remember, I mean, she wore the most, I mean, it was so provocative to me at the time, and we were supposed to give these book reports or something on, like, you know.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do a report on a country. That
was it.
He gave us a country, because I remember my country was Nepal, and I knew a couple of people that were from Nepal that I worked with when I was working at Whataburger at that time, because I was working at Whataburger And I took off during lunch break to go to help with my project because they said they'd help me out, and they had gotten they had made up a big huge fucking dish of food that you can eat in Nepal, which consisted of a lot of wild rice, curry chicken, stuff like that. And I can't remember what your country was.
I don't remember, but that was the day. It was one of the mythologies, you know, one of those mythologies about being a kid and growing up quick kicked in. Because the day I had to stand up and do my book report, that's when she was wearing something very provocative, and I popped the biggest boner. I popped the biggest boner I had ever had in class.
Now I remember.
And he called my name right at that time to come up and do my book report.
I remember this because
I tried to get up and hide it. I tried to put my book in front of me. I could not for the life of me figure out what was going on, how I could hide it.
I remember like if you were standing and if this was your book kind of
yeah.
an angle to.
I mean, I knew what a boner is, but I'm like, dude, how do I hide it in school?
There's no way to hide it.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, think, you know, my friend told me, he's like, you gotta think of like something really disgusting or something that'll take your mind off of it. And I'm like,
well, if I think of something really disgusting, it'll make my mind want to do it more.
I'm like, you can see the fucking dress this girl was wearing. There ain't no
the reason I remember this was because I remember you and her fucking going up because this was. I remember that your presentation was a different day than mine. Mine went over really well with everybody because I was sharing food with everybody, and like everybody was like, "Hey, they gave us free food, fucking give me an A, hey, A plus for the fat one," you know. And then I think it was the next day, because I was asking, is like, you got your presentation ready, and you were like started giggling like you normally do. Like that was all you did every time that I ever knew you in school, is like you'd be the giggling one, you know, the
fucking perma high. What do you expect?
I'm not blaming you. I remember I was like, do you have your stuff ready? And not realizing, you know, like I'm still in the frame of mind at that time that I'm still trying to do something to like prove to mom that I'm not a complete fucking loser.
Right.
Whereas I'm not coming, you know, I'm the oldest in my family. My brother and I'm the oldest. Whereas you're the youngest. You know, out of three, your sister's the oldest, and then Ken.
My brother is the middle.
The middle, and then you're the youngest.
Exactly.
And so they pretty much already put up with your sister and your brother. So they've pretty much already got expectations of how the youngest is going to do. It's like, you know, he's got our DNA, TS. He's just as much of a fuck up as the other two.
Yeah. Once I went into classes, the teachers would always ask me last name, looking at the roll sheet. They call out everybody's name. Last name first, first name last, and by the time they got to my name, they just had that. Oh fuck! Not another one.
Son of a bitch!
Because my brother wasn't up to handle once they got me.
The kind of reputation.
They knew it was all over.
It's the kind of reputation where the teachers start calling your parents like, "Stop fucking!"
A couple teachers after that were like, they were gonna put in retirement if they got another competition in their class. That was it. That shit was over for them. No more. No more.
We can't put up with this defective DNA much longer.
Another competition? No! No! Shit.